Well, we're leaving Goldsmith now and heading for down the Whitsunday passage. Looks like we've got the wind behind us, which is good, so we'll see how we go. Well, we're heading on down the Whitsunday passage. In front of us there is Shore Island, and we'll be passing, I think it's about four or 5 miles away at the moment. We'll be passing it in an hour. Well, it's 12 o'clock and we're sailing along Goosewing, and we've done, since we left Goldsmith this morning, we've done 16 nautical miles. We have the mainland on our port hand side. That's Cape Conway. You come on down, under the kicking strap is Long Island. On our starboard hand side is Dent, and then it's Hamilton Island. Then we swing on round to Pentecost due to its large hump in the middle. And this island here on our beam, Lindeman Island, and the island behind that is Shore Island. Going along at 4 knots, we've still got a knot of tide against us, but it will change in a minute, about 1 o'clock, and it'll start to die off, and 2 o'clock we'll be going the other way with at least a knot of tide. Well, there's a change of plan. I was hoping to go up to Townsville, but my friend Don, and he's in Hinchinbrook, and he'll be another 4 days before he gets out of Hinchinbrook, which would have been good, but he's got to go to the doctor, so he could be there a while. So I decided, well, no, that's it, I'll have to see him when he gets down here. And we're going to go by Hamilton, which is over here, which we're going to go to the south of Hamilton Island. And the main hill on Hamilton Island where they record the wind. So when you hear the winds, 30 knots, it's right up on the top of that hill. So beach, and the resorts there, basically on the beach there, and there's a swimming pool, and then there's condominiums on the hill owned by people who bought those, bought the blocks and built a house. And you all have to drive around in golf buggies on the island. So, and Keith Williams, it was his concept originally, and it's not changed much since his concept after moving up from SeaWorld, and it still works. People come to it, people have holidays, and it's one of the only ones that isn't closed down. I'm in Nara Inlet, and the filming stopped at Hamilton Island, so I'm sorry about that, but I've decided to come here and have 2 days of rest and recuperation before I have to go to the real world and be a landlord, and go up to my property in Strathdickey and go and fix it up, and which is going to take me a few days. So anyway, but from that, I'm here in Nara Inlet, and I'm going to just record the names on the around on the rocks, which in the 80s, you looked as graffiti, but realistically, it's part of the cruising sailing history of this area. In 1965 and things like that, there weren't many boats coming up here. It was like there was nothing in Airlie Beach. There was just a few, basically a one road down in there, which would be one lane, and there was a on the hill there was just fishing shacks, and so things have changed so dramatically since then. in a whole of Queensland's changed since the 60s, and basically so I'm going to record the cruising boats that came, and these weren't just cruising boats from Sydney. They didn't come up here. They were basically these are world cruising boats coming from from USA, from South Africa, New Zealand, and a few from Europe as well. So anyway, I'm going to try my best just to record those, and if you're bored with them, just skip it. The people that put those things on will be in their 80s now, or probably own one of those boats, and they'll think that's bloody wonderful to see their names on these rocks, the history of their boat. And if there's any of the people alive nowadays that rode on those, they'll be absolutely chuffed to see their names still up there, and as a memory going back, saying, "Oh, look at that, Ethel. That's where you held me up with the rope while I painted the thing with a bit of bilge paint." Anyway, so that's it. Now, in the charter industry, I reckon started off, don't quote me on this, would be probably 75 would have been just about the start of the bareboat industry. I'm not totally sure. You'd have to ask somebody else a bit more on the history of that, but there aren't many people around nowadays that would know. But the first publication of a cruising guide was this one here, which was just a proof, which cost $10, which was Whitsunday World's Guide to Anchorages in the Whitsundays. And important note on the proof edition, this was the proof edition, and there was a bit of blurb here, and basically you could contact David Bradley in those days, operation manager for Whitsunday World, if there was something wrong with this publication or it could be improved. So this is what there was the first one. And when you look at a page in it, say we'll do here, this is Nara Inlet, and the page for Nara Inlet, and it was just hand drawn, and just basically all done on a typewriter. And then came along in 1985, which would be 5 years further on, was this one's this one was published probably in 1990, but they came up with this concept here, which is a hand thing drawing, and this bit more professional approach in 1990. But I think if you would have got one of these first editions of this, it would look very similar to the Whitsunday Yachting World Guide. I'm pretty sure it's the same hand, to be honest. And that basically, that was the start of the bareboat industry, was with Yachting World, out of a place called Mandalay. And I can remember when I first came up here, they used to take you down to your boat, and in a car, in a car in those days. I don't know how you got there. I don't think the airport was open then. We maybe drove up, and then they used to take all your food and your baggage and everything down in a trailer down to the boat, and then they'd load it on to a dinghy and take you out to your boat. And that was what it was. There was no marina, there was nothing in those days. That was it. You just went out in a dinghy, were dropped off at your boat, and the boats in those days were very small. They were basically nearly trailer sailors. I think there was a few robbed leg boats there, and they weren't much bigger. They were certainly no bigger than this boat, which is the Nolex 30, and I don't think there were any of those here, but there were, usually had an outboard or a little diesel engine in the back, but mainly looked like robbed legs was the first ones with a centerboard in them that I remember. And anyway, I'm going to go out now, and I'm just going to go out and film these rocks, and if you don't like them, it's not your cup of tea, don't worry, just skip it and go to the next leg of the journey if you want more sailing than history. But I just gonna have a crack at putting it out on YouTube for the poor people that have put their names out there and are getting old and would like to see them, or just for history, because you know, in another 10 years time, 20 years time, they're not going to be there. They'll be washed off and worn out and lichen over them. They're just getting very faded now, the old ones. And if you like my movies, don't forget to press the like button. It helps YouTube kind of publish my channel. And the other thing is if you've seen plenty of my, you know, seen a lot of my movies and you're really enjoying them, it would be nice if you could shout me a beer. I'd like to buy a new camera and some new computer and a bit of other gear for my next trip. And so if you you know, fancy just shouting me a beer for getting the pleasure out of watching my movies, just go to my channel page and you'll see shout me a beer on the picture there, and just press that and it'll go to Simon Carter Sailing at PayPal, and just donate what you want. And but thank you very much if you do, and I'll be very grateful. And and I'll definitely be coming next year, I hope, to do, I'll be going up further up. I hope to get to Lizard Island next year and film from the Whitsundays up to Lizard Island, and that's my aim for next year. Thank you for those that have bought me a beer, and I'll try and put it to good use. A tradition for foreign cruising boats to write their names on these rocks. So you've got Nexus, USA 69, Scars, Scarsenai, Narishia, 1974, Tarnora, USA 1967 BC. And over on the wall over here you've got, I can't pronounce some of them, it's Strawn or Struan, 1974. And you've got something there, Starbound in the USA in 75. Yeah, this is history here, because you know, boats weren't coming here. This was kind of not known in, you know, in '69. You know, in that time, in that era, there weren't many cruising boats coming here. There was nothing in Airlie Beach at all. Just a few fishing shacks. We've got Silver Gull, 1975. Herrera, a yacht, 1966. Bona Dia, New Zealand, 1967. There's a beautiful boardwalk on the way to the cave paintings. There's Artemis in the foreground there, nestled in the middle of the Nara Inlet. I'm having a few days here of rest and recuperation before I have to go to Airlie and become part of the real world, and go and visit my house up there and see how and repair it, so the tenants are happy for another year. Rainmaker, Shishido, Moon Dance, Little Paddy, and Solomon, I think it is. Can't read the top one. And I think it's Deliverance Hopper. And Rainmaker was Durban 1980. And Shido was 1976. Yeah, this is a year after Cyclone Yahtzee, and as you can see, there wasn't a leaf on any tree, and now it's come back, you know, and it's pretty good. In places, the tops of the hills, there's pine trees. There's none now, you know, they all got blown down, but it's recovering very well. Couple of years it'll be back to its former glory. You can see the pine trees are, you know, their branches are slowly getting greened again. Green shoots are coming out of some of the limbs, and I'd say another year and a half they'll be fully sprouted again. There's quite a few boat names on these hills over here. Nice few charter boats in here. Nice private sailing boat, big red. Then we've got a sunsail boat. Smashing bit of kit. Coming to the entrance Nara on the way out now, and here's some lovely charter boats. That's a no-name one, so it might not be a charter boat, that one. This one's a Dream Yacht Charters, and I think that's a little first. I'm not sure. What a nice little boat. I think it's an Oceana 31. Got a nice charter boat here, which is obviously they've been swimming. It's called a Cyclades 3434 Ladiva. Now we're heading out through the entrance, and I'm on the final leg of the journey now. I left Nara Inlet, which is behind me, and I'm heading on into Airlie Beach. At the moment you can see there's a cruise liner in there. It must be the new thing. They're bringing cruise liners to Airlie Beach. I'll show you behind where we've come from. We're halfway across Whitsunday Passage. Very little wind. We're doing about 1.9 at the moment, but we're kind of, it's about 3 normally. Just we're doing a lull. Basically where the boat came from is roughly where Nara Inlet. That's actually false Nara, and Nara's a little bit over from that. So we're coming on round, and you can see Hayman there and Langford Reef. I'll probably go out there with some friends for a day and take them out for a day out there to the reef. But this time of the year now it's getting not so good to swim, and we had 2 shark attacks up here this year, which have only recently, about a month ago, as I was sailing up, and that was in Sid Harbour. You know, in 2 days we had 2 people badly mauled by sharks. So people are not so readily jumping in the water at the moment. They never had a shark attack for, say, at least 20 years as far as I know, and then we had 2 in in the space of a couple of days. But we have the whales nowadays come up here, and the whales kind of attract the sharks, you know, they follow them up, and I don't know, it might be a different kettle of fish nowadays. Well, I'm halfway across Whitsunday Passage now, and I'm going to empty my toilet. I've only got a little portaloo. I don't really want one of these newfangled jobs which is an macerated pump thing, because you know, I've been on other people's boats and whatever you do they smell. So I much prefer to have my portaloo, and once you clean it out and shut the valve, there's no smell at all down below. I already missed anchored close to the VMR, where I go in behind that rock wall and there's a nice jetty to hang your rubber dinghy on. And the other way in here is a nice shower in a public toilet on the outside. Cold shower, but when it's 30 degrees it's quite welcome when I come back when I'm all dirty from working on the house. The Airlie Beach marina, and it's quite large, got super yachts in there, got everything in here. Not many go out as usual in their marina, they just sit there. And this is where I come into. Up here is a toilet block and showers, and that's usually where I set off with my bicycle from here and go to the shops, which is about 2 k's down a nice ride along a boardwalk and to the shops. I normally park my canoe in one of the shelter sheds up there when I'm working. I come in on the dinghy, bring my bike ashore, and then I come in with a canoe and leave the dinghy back on the boat, so that when I'm here, if I just lose the dinghy, I don't want to lose the dinghy so much, I just don't mind if I lose the canoe, you know, it won't ruin the holiday. Well, I'm on my bike going to the library, and this is the typical toilet block. They have a nice shower. This is my trusty steed, an origami, a Repco origami. It's pretty heavy, but it's easy to ride, and I can fold it up and leave it in the locker on the boat. I hired a car to go out to my house. I came up here to maintain my house and see the tenants. It took me 3 days to fix the house up, and I cut down 2 large gum trees, new flip mixer, a few other little odds and sods, and that was it. And just told them to keep the place tidy, and I bought them a lawnmower because they weren't doing the lawns very well. So, and also took the young lad out for a sail for the day with his friend. They had a ball, you know, they'd never been out there before, and I took them to for a walk up South Mole because there was no wind, and then we went over to Whitsunday Island to False Nara, where we looked at the coral, and then sailed back and got it back at 10 o'clock at night. So they had a good day. Well, I thought it'd only be 20 minutes. It's been a bit longer than that, so my dinghy's on the rocks, but I'll be able to get it back in the water, thank God. And go and load my bicycle up and all the gear, get some more water, and away we go. This is Airlie Beach, so I'm leaving it. All the moorings in the mooring field there. I don't think any of them, when the cyclones come, have got insurance. I think it's, I don't know where they all go, but they can't leave them there.